Hello, Stampers. It's the Pampered Stamper coming to you from Schravenzand in the Netherlands. I'm a Canadian demonstrator who is getting married to a Dutchman, and so I'm actually a demonstrator in both countries, which means I can sell to the Canadian market and I can sell to the market in Europe, um, which is kind of awesome. It's kind of nice. Anyway, the reason I'm coming to you today is because I want to show you a couple of little tips and tricks of how to best use a stamp set that has a lot of dies that could be confusing. This stamp set is all words, and let's take a look at a few things you can do to make your life easier. So it's called Charming Sentiments, and I have just taken the dies and put them inside, and then I wrote inside what the words are. But then the next step that you need to do to keep it all straight is to trace around the die. And when you do that with all of them, then after you take the dies off to use them, you can put them back where they belong, and then you right away know whether or not you're missing any. Plus, it will go on those words that I've written inside. Okay. Normally, I take my dies off of these little pieces of paper and I put them on a piece of a magnetic sheet that I put inside the case. But in this case, I'm not going to do that. I probably could, and then I could draw with a white gel pen right on the magnetic sheet, and maybe I'll try that. But for now, I'm just going to do this so that you guys can see the purpose of this. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I'm first going to make a template with all the dies so that I can stamp a whole bunch of words at the same time and cut them out. And then you just tuck them into your stamp case. And then when you are ready to make cards, you've got a whole selection of sayings already ready to go. So you do this, and I know maybe I could use this as an example of speeding things up, but I'm just not that inclined to edit videos. So you can hear me chit chat as I do this. So give this a whirl yourself and you'll find, yeah, that one's done already. And the words are smaller. I mean, I wrote them in here. This stamp set, if you look at it carefully, I think it says that the images that show up are 85% of the size. So the words on the outside of the case look smaller than what they really are. It's amazing how much bigger even 15% is, but you'll see that when I stamp these out. Okay, so we're ready to go. So now I'm going to take my plate from the die cutting machine and going to just lay these on here. So you don't have to watch that whole process because that's going to take a little bit. So here I have them all. I've got them laying on here, and I'm going to ease that over into my die cutting machine. So I'm just going to pick that up gently and then put it in here. Like so. Put the other plate on top, and mine are well used. I need to get some new ones. I've learned to use just a top plate that doesn't ever get cut on, so then it stays nice and clear. So this is just from the first, I just did all of these, okay? So now I'm going to put all the stamps in there on my Stamparatus, and I'll show you that in a minute. So there's one other step. So this is a brand new stamp set. So then your stamps come like this between a thin sheet of plastic, which you're going to keep, and a thicker one. So it makes it more sense if you first take these off and put them on here. You can see them better for what they are, or I can wait and do that. I'm going to cross-reference now. I have my die cut sheet here, and then here is my little cheat sheet thing. So I can see that here is the one, and that says, because you totally deserve it. So now I'm going to look for that one here, because you totally deserve it, right here. And I'm going to lay that in the spot. Okay, so that one's ready. And then the next one is woohoo. So I'm going to turn that around. and find the woohoo. Here it is. So this takes a little while, so you might as well do this tedious job once and then stamp it a bunch of times in a bunch of different colors. Put them in little baggies. Okay, so now the next one I want to do is this funny looking one, which is here. Not that you need it. Otherwise, you'd really have a hard time. I mean, I guess you could look at the shape, but that little trick really does help. So anyway, you don't have to watch me do the whole thing. So here I have them all, except I forgot one. I see that. All right, let's have a look. And I found out that I also made a mistake. So it's not as easy as it looks. And that's why you have this. And once you've done it, you want to make it worth your while. So now I have that one. I made a mistake with these two. So this one is Beyond Grateful and this one is Thank You. So I switched it. And then we're going to, then we have to, so now we have all the words in the right spot. Then we have to take all of our die cuts and put them in. And then I'm going to stamp them all in black, and I'll stamp them all in early espresso, and maybe I'll stamp them all in another favorite color, old olive or something. But then you have it in 3 different colors, or you could maybe do it in a bright pink or a red. But black is generally a good go-to color. It goes with everything. But the thing is, once you've taken the time to do all this, you just want to do it once. So leave your Stamparatus all set up like this. Just do a bunch more die cuts, and then all that work is only done once. And then the next time when you need sentiments, they're all ready to go. And now this isn't all of them yet. I still have 5 more to go. But I could still put them on here, but I'm going to do these first. And, oops. Yeah, this is great if you want to maintain your mental acuity. It's a good little exercise. If you get too many of them wrong, then you should get worried. Oh, goodness. See, that one's wrong. I didn't look carefully. And there we go. Okay, so you want to make sure now that your paper is tight into the corner, and it is. Now we're going to ink it up with Memento. I'm going to move all this stuff out of the way. And here we go. It's really a great set. Different fonts, different sizes, and lots of different occasions. And then you'll find out which ones you use a lot of. You're not going to need a whole pile of certain ones. And just let it fall. Give it a press. This stamp set was designed by $1 Million sales achiever Lisa Curcio. A lot of people cut out their sentiments by hand, and now you don't have to. You get that look without having to do all the work. So here we have it, tied into the corner. And I will cry if I've moved it. Well, maybe not, but I won't be happy. That's for sure. Now I'm wishing that I had double checked at the beginning that it was tight into the corner instead of just doing a visual check, because all it takes is a millimeter to be off, and the tool is only as good as the operator. There. It looks good. Yeah. So that looks nice. Here. Let's have a look. Looks nice on a black background. See? So I will save this. I'm not going to take them off. Look how nice that is. I think it looks great. And then I'm just going to take a new plate and do the other ones on there. because this is pretty close to the hinge anyway, and I don't know if I can get all 5 on there. Okay, I have the second round ready to go. And this one has 5 words, and then it has a bunch of images. And I was looking if there were stamp things to go with those images, and there are no stamped images to go with that. They are meant to be layered with a color over like 2 contrasting colors. So I'll show you that in a minute. I'm telling you, there's a lot to this stamp set, isn't there? There's a lot of potential. So we're going to hold on to this and ink it up again. And I'm just going to double check. Yep, it is tight. All the pieces are in the right spot. Drop. There we go. Now the first time you ink up a photopolymer stamp, it can be a little bit like, you can really see it here in the Just For You. You can see that it's a little dotty. It's not a solid. Same thing with the faith there. And that's why the Stamparatus is such a good thing. Then you can go over it again, and it's good to go. Some people say they lightly go over their stamps with a sanding paper or whatever, but I've never done that. I just find that with use, it corrects itself. There's no need to go to all that extra work. So there we have it. Faith over fear, babies are a blessing. Now with the babies are a blessing, I should have moved it over a little bit. But because I wasn't standing directly over it, it skews your vision a little bit. So there we have it. Yeah, you can see they're all over a little bit to the left. And then I'm going to show you, there's a butterfly. See, so there's a solid, and then there's a detailed. So if you have that in a couple different colors, you're going to get a beautiful detailed butterfly. Same thing with the candle. You have a solid, and then you have a detailed. If you do that in 2 different colors, you could also just sponge over top of that. You've got some hearts, a little heart. I lost the inside of it. And then we have a star and another heart. And then this could be a water droplet, just a minute, or it could be a flame on a candle. And then the same thing with this. This can be like fireworks. Oh, here's the inside of that heart. Okay. And then the other thing, I'm going to bring this back in here. The long die, that just cuts a bunch of holes. It's like a detailed thing. And this as well. So this, let me see, for the candle. See, the light around the candle. So lots of options. And I will do them in different colors and then show you. I'll take a picture and maybe put it at the front of the video. So this is the last trick. I'm just going to take some Mango Melody ink, and I've got the new tweezers, and you just hold on to that. And the thing is, I don't have to hold on to it. It just keeps it going. It keeps the grip. So I'm just going to do this. And it's quicker than running a different. I mean, I could even leave it like this, that it's ombre. But no, I'm going to do the whole thing. Grab it, hold it. No more inky fingers. So there's that. Then I'm going to do the same thing with the butterfly. Hold on to the other side. Oops. It's a great tool. It's awesome. Okay. And then actually I can keep holding on to it and add a little bit of adhesive at the same time. And it's just, you have to think. Lay it down. Press it. See, now I have a cute little butterfly. And with the candle, I could use a sponge too, but I don't want to go to the extra effort right now. So I'm just showing you a very simple way. There it is. Lay it down. Got this shakes a little bit. So now I have my candle, and now you can see how the die cut works. So it's not a stamp, it's just two dies layered over top of each other. So I hope you found that helpful. Now to recap, the purpose of this is threefold. So what you want to do first is, well, actually, you know what? We need to see this. The first thing you want to do is to trace around all your dies and to write the corresponding words in there. Okay, so that's number one. The second thing you want to do is die cut them all and save this as your template. Put it in your Stamparatus and then put all your stamps on here. And then you want to stamp them in a couple of different colors. And then put the colors in little baggies, and then you're all set to go. You have a whole pile of sayings that you don't have to worry about later, and do this whole rigmarole again. What I found is that make sure you stand directly over top of your Stamparatus. Like when I'm videoing, I'm looking at it at an angle, then you're going to be off. So when you do this, make sure you're looking straight above your Stamparatus, and then you get the right angle. Okay? So, and the other thing that this is good for, I'm just going to show you, look at this. This is just the other half of the dies. So that's all these dies right here. So there's 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's 17 dies right here. So by having them all, I forgot to trace that one, then you right away know if you're missing one or not. Because you know, if they fall onto the carpet, you don't hear it. If it gets stuck between paper, you don't see it. So this is a great way to minimize frustration, maximize production and pleasure. Okay, so that's what it's all about. So I think these are some pretty good tips and tricks packed into this short little video. I hope you enjoy it. Please subscribe to my channel. And if you're looking for a demonstrator either in Canada or in Europe, I'd love to be your person. All right, have a super day. Bye.